Carlos Prates has more weapons than the KGB. Spinning back elbows, spinning back punches, head kicks, brutal knees to the body, and everything in between. From the slums of Taubaté, Sao Paulo, to sleeping on the gyms in Thailand, all the way to the very top of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. This is the many tools of Carlos Prates. Carlos Prates was born in Taubaté, Sao Paulo on August 17, 1993. And by all of the accounts I hear, it wasn't an easy place to grow up. His father died at 1 year old, so he was basically raised in a single parent household. And by his very own words, most of his friends are either dead or in prison. But through all the chaos, there was one woman who wouldn't let him get swallowed up by it, Regina Prates. His mother saw where the road was heading for Carlos, so decided to sign him up for Muay Thai lessons in his teenage years.
I think my mom is my biggest fan. If my mom didn't find Muay Thai, probably I would be on the prison, I would be dead, or something like that.
He starts training in the art of 8 limbs. And fast forward a couple of years, he loves Muay Thai so much he decides to go to the motherland of Muay Thai, Thailand. He didn't just train in Muay Thai, he lived Muay Thai. He goes to Thailand and spends 5 full years grinding in the local gyms, barely enough money to eat. And over that 5-year period, he racks up 100 Muay Thai fights. And this is really where the many tools of Carlos Prates start to be developed. You can tell by Carlos's fight style that he has a heavy Muay Thai background. The issue with Muay Thai in modern MMA, as I've seen it, is that it's very hard to convert that style, specifically the footwork and the stance, to have real success in the upper echelons of MMA. Carlos is probably the best example on the entire planet of someone who has transitioned from a legitimate Muay Thai background and Muay Thai fighting style to the upper echelons of MMA. Muay Thai was the first martial art that I personally got into very heavily, so Carlos Prates automatically is one of my favorite fighters because of that reason. If you're a real Muay Thai aficionado, you will know the fighters such as Diesel Noi, and Carlos Prates is really a throwback to someone like him in the MMA space. Diesel Noi was known for having some of the best knees in Muay Thai history, and Carlos Prates' special weapon is his knees. If we look at his fight against Jacob Ginter, which went down in Phuket, Thailand in 2018, we see him land a brutal knee to the body that ends in a KO in round number 2. One thing that stood out to me when I'm doing research on Carlos Prates over the last couple of years, betting on him as a professional MMA bettor myself, but also going back and watching some of his Muay Thai fights in the construction of this video, I noticed a stat that shocked me. From February 2018 all the way up into his last Muay Thai fight in 2021, Carlos racked up 7 knockout wins in Muay Thai. But out of those 7 knockout wins, 5 were knees to the body. This is an abnormal record. I don't think I've ever seen as many knee to the body knockout wins as I have seen on the record of Carlos Prates. That weapon is by far his best weapon. In both Muay Thai and in MMA, he has transitioned them perfectly. If we move away from some of his Muay Thai fights and go to his MMA contests, I want to bring you to a fight in 2017 against a fighter named Jing Tao. Now, Jing Tao had a big reach and height disadvantage over Carlos Prates. And in this fight, you really saw a knee clinic. Now, he ended up finishing the fight with punches, but the knees that he landed in that fight were what really done the damage over the 8 minutes that they were fighting. Speaking of knee clinics, his fight against Eduardo Ramon is one that really stands out. He doesn't just have knees to the body. In this fight against Eduardo Ramon, he lands one of the most brutal knockouts of his entire career. He head kicks Ramon, drops him, lets him get back up to his feet. When he gets back up to his feet, he lands one of the most vicious knees to the head from standing I've ever seen, and puts Ramon clean out unconscious. A brutal knockout which actually got the UFC's attention. And less than 6 months later, he was fighting on Dana White's Contender Series. At this point in time, Carlos Prates was now back in Brazil, training at the emerging camp, the Fighting Nerds. Joining the Fighting Nerds was a great move for Carlos, and this is really where his Muay Thai violence got an MMA polish. He fought on the Contender Series, got a knockout, got big praise by Dana White, and the rest was history.
Smooth, calm, violent. The way he looked tonight, he looked like prime, young, vintage Anderson Silva to me. This dude is absolutely in the UFC.
He made his UFC debut in February 2024, and it was a statement. After losing round 1 to UFC veteran Trevin Giles, Prates walked him down in round 2, pieced him up, and finished him brutally. The first walk-off KO in his UFC career on his UFC debut. And another crazy stat I noticed is that Carlos Prates has a 100% walk-off KO ratio in the UFC. And what I mean by that is every single win he has won, he has done it with a walk-off KO. I don't think there's anybody else in UFC history that has a stat like that, and to do it in the welterweight division makes it even more impressive. This is not a heavyweight where knockouts happen all the time. Carlos Prates has the deft touch and a cool, calm and collective manner to just walk off after he's landed it. The fight against Charles Radke came next, and in round 1 he goes back to his best tool that I mentioned earlier in the video, the knee to the body. This is one of his best KOs of his UFC career, man. I mean, he made it look easy. A brutal knee to the body, and even walks up and talks to the then champion, Belal Muhammad, telling him he wants to fight soon after knocking out one of his training partners. But this is the many tools of Carlos Prates, and he hasn't just got a knee. Let's fast forward to the Li Jingliang fight, which was the next fight after the Charles Radke performance, and he slumps Jingliang dead with a left hook in round 2. His very next fight against Neil Magny, he does the same thing. Knockout blow at the end of round 1 with a left hand. Doing research on Carlos over the years, I've noticed that the best tools he has is the knee to the body, the left hand, and the head kick. His jab's pretty good as well, but these are the 3 main tools he uses to disarm his opponents. Then came Jeff Neal in Chicago. This moment perfectly encapsulates the many tools of Carlos Prates because they was all on display that night in Chicago. I was lucky enough to be there live to watch Carlos Prates go to work against Jeff Neal.
Hey boys, Prates versus Neal. We need Prates. We're meant to be going to his after party as well. If you don't win, there's probably going to be no after party, so fingers crossed.
This wasn't just another fight. Carlos was coming off the first loss of his UFC career against Ian Gary. There was a lot of pressure on his back, but he fought as if there was no pressure. I guess that's what 100 Muay Thai fights will do to you. He took his time in that fight. He mixed the weapons, but during the last minute of round 1, he really started to put it on Jeff Neal heavy. He landed his brutal signature knee to the body multiple times. He hurt Jeff Neal with some good straight hands and some good hooks, and he started to find his flow. He started to find his swag. And when he saw the opening, bang, another knockout. This time, a spinning back elbow. Another knockout, another walk-off, another victim added to the highlight reel.
You came back from your first loss inside the octagon in spectacular fashion.
50K bonus out, have party tomorrow, let's go, let's party!
I bet on Carlos Prates that night. Me and my VIP cashed big on him. So to see it live was crazy. He cashed for us big. And after that fight, we partied. I went and met up with Carlos after the fight and my boys at Full Violence, and we had a very, very memorable night in the nightclubs of Chicago all throughout the town. I still remember Carlos walked into the club shirtless, cigarette hanging out of his mouth, smiling and dancing like he hadn't just knocked out one of the best in the world a couple hours earlier. By the way, if you want to learn how I make money betting on MMA and how I cashed on Prates that night and how I had the bottle service girls bringing me a bottle of Dom Perignon with Carlos Prates KO plus 110 written on the board that night, then my link's in the bio so you can find out more. This has been the many tools of Carlos Prates. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.